we need to have create a generous culture where everybody will go, as I always keep telling, that we work together and grow together. That is my word that I used to follow. We work together and grow together.
Why knowledge matters. Professor Dr. Jahirul Haque, welcome back. Give and gain. Why is it important?
Yes, thank you very much, Yannick. The question is really very good question for me, because the question you have raised, I strongly believe in that. So, to me, I strongly believe that if we want to gain something, if we want to have sustainable gain, in that case, we need to sacrifice, we need to give, we need to compromise, we need to show our generosity. We have to be very simple. We have to be transparent. That is what I want to mean by giving. Give it is not something that you have to give me all the time just some materialistic money or something like that. It is not limited to that only. It is beyond that. By giving and gaining, I want to mean that, for example, you observe that I always like to talk by giving example, so that people clearly can understand my philosophy or the kind of things that I want to communicate to them. Therefore, I make example before the audience. So, example is very simple. If you talk about the leadership, in that case, I would like to say that if you are generous, if you are collegial, if you are simple to your colleagues may be senior to you or junior to you, no matter. But you have to provide all support to both categories of your colleagues. So your colleague may be three categories of your colleagues. Colleague of your level, colleague who are junior to you, and colleagues who are senior to you. So if you must be supportive to all categories of your colleagues or of your co-workers. What happens in the corporate or in any organization, that in maximum cases, the senior people, they always want to, some people want to dominate their juniors, and some, demand too much. They themselves work less because they are senior people, they are bosses, and they feel, they are by rank, they are senior, and so they do less than the juniors. So there are many kinds of calculation and many kinds of prejudice and ego they have. But to me, it should be opposite. So if you are a senior person, you have to think that I have to work more than my junior because I am senior. That is what I always do. When I was junior to somebody, I also again think that I am junior, I have to support my boss so that he can perform, well, and he can lead the organization better. Because today, for last 8 years, I have been playing the role as the Vice Chancellor of 2 different universities. But before that, I was not the Vice Chancellor. I used to have a Vice Chancellor. And I was junior to the Vice Chancellor when I was the Pro-Vice Chancellor. But I used to support him a lot. I used to guide him, in fact. If you have the capability, you can guide your senior by your generosity, by your knowledge, by your intellectual ability, by your emotional maturity. You see? So always you have to be ready to give more than your co-workers. In that case, you can be a good leader, otherwise not. So if you work, for example, if you are a senior guy, you have to work much more than your junior. I mean, you have to have that mindset. Or even if you are junior, you also you should think that you have to produce much more than the senior or other colleagues. I have to support my colleagues. That kind of mindset we must have. In that case, I will be gainer. How? Because if I provide my support to all my colleagues, they will accept me, they will respect me, they will love me. And then when they will accept you as the leader, then you will become a leader, otherwise not. Rank is not leadership. The salary is not leadership. Your position is not your leadership. Your leadership is all about the acceptability that you gain, in your office or in the organization you are working. That is the leadership. For example, if I am a good leader, people, I can be, I can have the ability to lead the people, and I can never lead the people if they don't accept me as their own colleagues or as their guardians. So they will feel you guardian when they will see that you respect them, you take the maximum load, you always try to produce much more than they are producing. Then you will be model for them, model for your colleagues. You will become a good model, and that is the leadership. So if you give more, then you will gain more. It is very simple thing. Let us talk about the love and respect. Even if you give more love, more respect to people, you will gain much more than that you are giving to them. Because if you are a person with high egos, or if you are very much careful about your own respect, you don't care about the respect to others, respect for others, so you'll never gain respect and love from others. So only if you respect them, if you love them, in spite of their mistakes, in spite of their incapabilities, in spite of their small mistakes that they can do, if you can respect them, love them, if you can avoid their mistakes and all kinds of small things that is avoidable, in that case you will become a leader and you will become a respectable person for them. They will love you, and then you can become a popular person for them. Then you can become a friend for them. Then you can become a guardian for them, because you love them, you care about them. So it's all about the attitude when whether you react and how you react. For example, if you even do a mistake, or even if you disrespect me, and you show your disrespect to me, but if I react very positively, and if I don't care about that disrespect that you have already showed, that is fine. In that case, if I react very normally, if I react very positively about your initiative, after your initiative, or if I do some positive things, when you do some negative for me, after a certain period of time, you will realize that, hey, Dr. Zohir is such a good person. I have done wrong thing, but he is still doing very positive and better things for me. So when you will realize this, you will, your love and respect for me will be much higher than, I could get by a normal reaction, but the kind of, reaction that I produce based on this reaction, everything depends. Whether I will be respected by you, whether I will be loved by you, whether I will be, well accepted by you, it depends on me, not on you. So if I give you more respect, more love to my colleagues, to my relatives, to my friends, to the general people, in that case, I'll gain more. That is why I am telling, the more you give, the more you gain.
This is really reciprocity. I think you laid it out so nicely, and I think it's really also the principle of life. If you give, if you give a smile or something, it's much more likely you receive a smile back than if you just have some negative attitude. I think this is so important, especially also in the position where you are in, and really to lead people. Did you have
Even
always this attitude, or when did you realize that this is actually one of the principle of leading a successful life?
uh, let me come to the question. Before that, I also want to give another example. Even if you give more money to people, you will gain more. Now you can ask me how. My philosophy is, I believe that if I give money to people, if I give my resource, my money, my wealth to people, I'll gain more. How? The question is how. Just think. For example, I have millions and millions of dollars, right? Now, if I give it to people, I'll be richer. How? The explanation that I strongly believe and I have been practicing, for example, if I give you money, it means I am gaining more confidence, and I am becoming more, I am becoming independent from materialistic things, because I have the mindset to give my money to you. I don't care about money, because I am becoming more independent personality, and my happiness does not depend on this money, because I am giving money. That is my generosity. So my happiness does not depend on money. So by giving money, I am becoming more independent, more rich in mind. So without money, I can be happy. That is how I am gaining. Have you understood my point? So I am giving my money. It means my happiness does not depend on money. That means I am earning, I am gaining more in mind. My mind is so broad, I can become happy without money. So even I lose all my money, still I am more happy, because I have gained that confidence in my mind, and that kind of feelings, that my happiness does not depend on money, nor on wealth. My happiness does not depend on anything. So I can give everything. And I believe, because I believe that my happiness depend on me only. So by giving money, by giving wealth, so I am becoming ultimately more richer. I am gaining more, because when I give money and my wealth, That means I am gaining my confidence that money is nothing, wealth is not nothing. So I am enriching my soul. I am enriching my mindset, and this is how I am gaining much more. I am giving money and wealth, but ultimately I am gaining a bigger thing, to be to gain your happiness, to gain broader concept of happiness. That means I have, my happiness does not depend on anything. That is how by giving even money and resources that I have, I am gaining much more than you are gaining. So this is how by giving we can become gainer, and we can be successful, and we can be happier, and we can make society happier, we can make the country happier, we can make the friends, relatives happier, and we can make the whole world happier. So this is how by giving we can gaining.
I think one thing is really important too, that the attitude and the intention behind is critical. In other words, just giving for the sake of giving without having this preparedness that you just laid out, that might be not necessarily good. If you have the intention to somehow gain something back, but if you give it basically for the sake of giving it because you want to do good, and when you're also prepared accordingly, I think there's some nuances, I think, there that are important.
Yeah, actually, for some reason the sound system is not good. I could not hear you when you made the last question or point. But again, if I can repeat that, giving means I want to create an environment where people feel that their happiness and their success does not depend on some particular things. It depends on that particular person. So that is why I developed that theory, that by giving we can be gainer, by giving we can be earning. So the philosophy is that we have to develop a culture where people, so they would like to they will be happier when they will give their support. Even not, it's not only monetary, it's all about the attitude, the kind of attitude they have to have in their mind, that when other people need support or money or love, respect, and any kind of even some initiative that I may need to take for others. So any kind of support. So when other people need, we should be ready to provide immediately. So it's not the, now what we have done in this world, we have created a culture where always we are thinking about gaining. I mean, we are thinking about earning. So we are thinking about I. But we have to create a culture giving. We have to create a culture of we, not only I. So when we think that how can I become a successful guy? When we think that how can I become a successful guy, that means ultimately I am competing with you and others. So I am trying to downing you. I am trying to push you down because I want to be the number one. Because the current definition of success is to underestimate other, is to undermine other, is to push down others. That is the kind of success that people have been nurturing for many years. Because in the contemporary world, people believe that success means to do better than others, to do better than their juniors and their seniors. So he want to, do something that other should not do. He or she will be gain something by doing whatever the means he or she needs to do. They will, this kind of people will undermine, underestimate, and push down others to gain their success. This is the definition of success in this current moment that we have. But I am telling you the success should not be dependent on competition. No comparison, no competition, no complaint. So competition, comparison, complaint, these kind of things are making, chaos, complexity, and it divides also the society, and it creates problem in the organization. So we need to have create a generous culture where everybody will go, as I always keep telling, that we work together and grow together. That is my word that I used to follow. We work together and grow together. I mean, we have to do together, and we have to all credit goes to us. Or even if we fail, that is also our common failure, not failure of particular someone. Or similarly, if there is a success, it is not the success of a particular person. It is the success of the whole, team. So the kind of culture that we need to establish is that even not giving, not gaining. Let us work together and be busy and ultimately make the society happier. Don't even think that if I give, I will gain. Even we don't need to think about that. We just, as I mentioned in my previous interview with you, that just let us be busy. Let us let us involve ourselves to the activities. Let us work hard, and just let us be very positive. That's it. And I would like to add one thing with this note, that only we need to avoid, or we need to bypass, or we need to let go the negative things. If even sometimes somebody do some mistakes or do something wrong, just we have to avoid. As as we claim that we are the best creation of this world or of this universe, so we have to prove by showing good attitude that we are really best creation, other is not.
Beautiful. Work together, grow together. I can't agree more. Vice Chancellor of the Canadian University of Bangladesh, Jahirul Haque. That's why knowledge